wish it was worth the try.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Season 3, Episode 1 of The Beach Boys, a one-club challenge in FM 19. And we are here. It is our third season with Concord Rangers FC. We are still in the Vanarama National South, but we're looking to change that this season. So in the last episode, you saw us suffer extreme disappointment in the playoffs at the hands of Hungerford, which led to this situation with us back in the National South. The next disappointment that we suffered is the fact that I recorded a whole season review and transfer special and the first match of the season yesterday, and all of the audio from all of it is nowhere to be found. It's all gone. So after that bit of a false start, I'm going to do a quick kind of season review of last season, and then talk about our transfers in and out and how we're getting on this season. And then we'll go into two matches against Bath City and Havant and Waterlooville to make up for the fact that I totally biffed it yesterday and missed the first game of the season due to some audio issues. So first things first, we'll take a look at last season. Okay, so first things first, we have our overall best 11, and quite a few players from our squad have made it into the team, and there's no surprises for guessing that. So Sam Besant, Tyrone Sterling, Michael Clark, Jack Parkinson, and Justin Jarvis make up our defensive unit in the best 11. Connor Hunt finds his way in on the left. Jake Taylor and Lee Minchell are in as the central midfielders, with Rory Oliver actually making the right-hand side. I don't know how Rory Oliver made it in to the best 11 ahead of the likes of Danny Green or even Jake Cope, who played much more on the right, but fair play. And then Alex Wall and Rico Hackett-Fairchild, a.k.a. RHF. RHF, the one player who had already left the club, who made it into the 11. He was at Hendon, and he still is. So we've kind of moved beyond the level of RHF, and we'll talk a little bit about that now. So I am going to go into the where are they now. Sam Besant is the big out for us in this season. He's playing with Crawley Town. Adam Combs has moved to Dulwich Hamlet, which is back down in our division, and then RHF is at Hendon. Danny Green and actually Jack Midson have announced a retirement from professional football, and Midson has actually hung up his boots and is now just our assistant manager. So a little bit of movement on that front. So what did we do to improve and bounce back and make sure we are competitive in this next season? Well, there's a lot of movement. So you can see Besant was the big out. He went to Crawley on a free. They're in League Two, and I can't blame him for wanting to move up, especially he's 32 years old, so he's still able to contribute as a keeper, but he is getting on in years. And so time was running out for him. All right, so our first in, a few of these are going to be ones for the future. So, don't be too wrapped up around the fact that some of these guys are, not exactly first-team quality yet, but they have a lot of potential. So Joey Hope was our first in. He's a left-sided defender, 18 years old, and we got him on a free from Grimsby. Crossing, not great, but he does have good physicals. Some good mental attributes as well, and then some of his defending attributes are good. So as far as a kind of no nonsense fullback, defensive fullback, he's got the beginnings of being a very good player, but he is one for the future. The next player we brought in was Tariq Anderson, and I'm not loving a lot of these red downward arrows, but he's a 21-year-old winger. We brought him in as depth because you can see he can play all across the front line. So he can play on the right, as a striker or on the left. primarily as an inside forward. So just bringing him in as depth, and you can see with his physicals, he's got some real danger man about him because he's got 13 acceleration, 14 pace, 13 stamina. So he's got a high work rate, high off the ball. His technical ability is not the best, but he gets into dangerous areas, so he's gonna be in situations where he can make a difference for us. 3-star current ability and 5-star potential. The next player we brought in was Nana Owusu. So Nana comes in again. He's a depth option all down the left and right, so he can play as a fullback, as a winger. So he provides us with a lot of versatility. He's only a 2-star current ability, but he's 3.5-star potential. And he does have some decent attributes about him. He's got high leadership and definitely some good physicals. So we're looking forward to having the Ghanaian Owusu into the team. The next was Brett Taylor. So this is another young talent with high potential. 2-star current ability, but potentially 4.5-star potential. potential. Great job. So he plays as a central defender, but he can also play in defensive midfield. You can see his mentals are really, really good. Positioning is high, and his heading, marking, and tackling are all pretty good. His physicals decent as well. So he'll be in our under 23s for now, and we'll see if we can get him up to speed with the first team. Next player in was Alfie Jones. We got him on a free from MK Dons. He's another one for the future. 4.5-star potential ability. And yeah, he's got some really good attributes in terms of being a goalkeeper. And he's going to be our backup keeper for now. But he is going to be with the senior side at 19. The next player we brought in was Jay Smith on a free from Dulwich Hamlet. Central defender. Again, just more depth at central defense, but you can see 10 heading, 14 marking, 9 tackling. He's a really, really good player. So I think he's better than the 2-star ability shows, but he does have, up to a 5-star potential, and he is just 21 years old. So a lot of youth being brought in. Archie Johnson, so this is another depth option for Yassine Anaya up top. He can play on the left of the front line, or he can play up top. We got him on a free from Welling, and 10 finishing, pretty decent, 9 technique, but his physicals are really good, and a lot of his mentals are really good. So he could be another player who can make a difference for us along that front line. All right. Now, this man, Julian Correa. I'm not sure how we got the ability to sign Julian. He's a central midfielder. You can see he can play a lot of different roles in midfield, but primarily he's going to play in this kind of attack role for a central midfielder. And you can see he's got all of the tools. 10 first touch. I mean, long shots, not great. Wish it was a little bit better. Finishing, not great. But he can get other people into attacking areas. 14 passing, 9 technique, decision making very high, vision and work rate high, acceleration, pace, stamina all high. So he's got that work rate in central midfield that I think can really make a difference for us. He's only 18 years old. He was at Brighton, and he never made an appearance, and he came from Angers in France earlier. But you can see he's already off the mark for us. He started the first game of the season, and he had a 6.9 average rating. Really excited about him. And then we got Nathan Bishop in on loan, and this happened right before the first game. He hasn't started for us yet, but this is going to be our starting keeper. We got him on loan from Southend. The stats speak for themselves, really. He's got high agility. He's really got the ability to be a very good keeper. And on loan with no wage contribution, I think we have quite the player on our hands. And we've built a real depth in our team. There are still a couple of loans that I am looking at. And as we look at the tactic that we're using for this season, I'm just going to have a look around. You can see we've ditched the 4-4-2. I was getting a little tired of how unstable we were defensively. And so we've gone for a flat back four still, but with a ball winning midfielder. Primarily, it's going to be Jack Parkinson playing in this role. I think it suits him as he's getting a little older. Doesn't have to be quite as mobile, but he can just patrol in front of that defense and provide us with a little bit more defensive stability. And then we have two kind of swashbuckling or more adventurous players in front of him with Correa and Taylor in this central mid and box to box midfielder roles. And then we've gone for a three up top of two wingers. This is mostly going to be Connor Hunt, aka Hunter the Hungry, in that left side position, and he'll play as a winger more often than not. But Jake Cope out here on the right and Anaya up top, and you can see the players that are kind of providing that depth. So Owusu is a very versatile player that'll be on the bench most of the time and provide us with some options. Johnson gives us options as well, and then Ashton can play pretty much all across the central midfield. Taylor can drop back into this ball-winning midfielder spot as well. So we've got some very, very good players. I am tempted to kind of go with something that gives us a little more infield, like maybe don't tell Cope to hug the line quite as much, maybe cut in a little bit more, but we will see how everything goes. So as we take a look at how things got off in the preseason and in the first match of the season, which I was supposed to show you guys in the actual first episode, but here we are. So we played a pretty short preseason of just four matches. Tonbridge, Royston, Avonlea, and Hales Owen. Tonbridge, 5-1 winners. Ashton, Parkinson, Smith, Hunt, and Johnson all off of the mark. Tyrone Sterling scored the own goal, so it was actually all 6 goals were scored by Concord Rangers players, unfortunately. But you can see here we played Royston and Connor Hunt and Nosa Iyamu scored for us. Iyamu grabbing that late goal to give us the win over Royston, who had a Sambalonga score. Excuse me, didn't mean to click that. Then we won 3-0 over Avonlea. Connor Hunt with 2, Jake Cope with the third. And then an unfortunate 2-2 draw against Hales Owen, but this was more so due to the fact that we were just a little wasteful and didn't really create quite the amount that we wanted. So we went into the first game of the season against newly promoted Basingstoke, which I was hoping to show you guys. But yeah, we had a good away performance in the first match. It was against lower opposition. Grant Molyneux for them sent off early on. Anaya scored the penalty that was caused by that red card offense. Really, it was a second yellow in the 14th minute, so rough for Basingstoke's introduction to the league. Jake Cope added a second right before halftime, but then after halftime, we showed a little bit of defensive fragility, which we're really going to have to fix in this next match, where Sam Argent, their striker, just sat in between my central defenders and ran in behind latched onto a long ball and scored. But then we bounced back immediately, after five minutes. Tariq Anderson with a far post header. It was a really good delivery from Jarvis that actually led to that. And then Joseph Jarvis chipped in with a goal of his own, which I am tempted to show because it was a stonker. So there was Anaya with the pen. I'll just show you all the goals. Why not? Then we had Clark go out wide to Sterling. Sterling played a nice pass into Anaya, who on the turn found Cope at the far post, who just had to slot it home with his left foot. The ball over the top to Argent, as you can see, and he finished past Jones in goal. Sorry, I'm going to put this into Director real quick so you can see the 3D Tariq Anderson at the far post, but this is the goal. This is the goal, ladies and gentlemen, that you all need to see. Owusu went into Cope. Jarvis ran onto it, and from the edge of the area just blasted it into the top corner. What a goal for Joseph Jarvis, and good to see him off the mark. He is back in on loan after spending last season with us. If I can find him quickly. He's back in on loan from Northampton, and physically just so good. He's lacking in kind of a lot of areas, but he's just so good physically and he's only 19 years old. He can really be a good player for us. you can see there's a lot more stars, I feel, than there were in previous seasons. So I feel like we've gotten a lot better. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get us to match day. And we are going to see these next two games, Bath and Havant and Waterlooville, and we will see how we get on. So one thing worth pointing out is the fact that Borehamwood would have 7 of the best, the media dream 11. We have 1 in Parkinson, which playing at striker, he doesn't even really do for us. 1 for a couple of other teams. But Borehamwood, the goalkeeper's them as well. So 8 of the 11 for Borehamwood. I don't know what happened for them to get relegated, but they are going to run away with the league, and it's not fair. Yeah, they went from finishing 7th in the National League to somehow they finished 22nd and went down in last season. And yeah, it's just infuriating that we have to play a team of this quality. Luckily, they have a bunch of people who want to leave, so maybe they will, and maybe we'll be okay. All right, so as we prepare for this match against Bath, you can see the lineup. We've got Alfie Jones in goal. I love Alfie. What a name. Alfie Jones in goal. Sterling, Jay Smith, our new signing. Pollock and Jarvis across the back 4. Parkinson in defensive midfield. Correa and Taylor in the center. Hunt and Cope on the wings, with Anaya leading the line up top. I've left it in 3D. No issues. So you can see Bath playing a back 5-3-2 with a couple of wing backs. No one in there that's maybe Solanke, Tom Solanke instead of Dom Solanke. All right. Go out there and impress me. Let's do this. Let's see what we can do. If I can, sorry, I'm going to change it back to 2D just because I like watching it in 2D. I hope you guys do too. Replays still in 3D. I know there's a debate that rages on about this as Bath have the first little bit of possession here, and they're already giving us some problems. Is this going to lead to something? No, their wing back is offside. But they are going to try to get at us from wide positions. We do have a corner here. Hunt plays it to Cope on the edge of the area. Cope running into space. Now Parkinson from the edge. He curls it just wide. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. You could see what he was going for. And now we have a chance here. Ball into the box towards Cope. It's back for Taylor. Jarvis. Taylor. Back out wide for Jarvis. Just looking for an opening here. Taylor on the edge of the area runs into space, plays it across to Correa. Correa works it out wide to Sterling down the left, across for Cope at the far post. Cope with a chance, saved by Preston. It was a tame shot in the end. It was a good move. I agree. We are playing quite well to open the game. Anaya has a free kick from the edge of the area, and he blasts it over. Couldn't get it to dip down under the bar. But we are playing well in these opening stages. Joseph Hall booked for a foul for Bath as we cross the 20-minute mark. We've had the better of the proceedings here. Can we make the most of it as they look to break? Pollock cuts it out, finds Parkinson. Out wide for Jarvis to Cope. We're having a lot of joy down this right-hand side. Correa, he's got options. He works it out wide for Sterling. Sterling with options himself. Short to the feet of Hunt, out to Parkinson. Taylor, Anaya, Cope. Cope shouldn't have shot. Let's be real. That was poor in the end, especially for the move. Really well worked again from us, and we're being very patient, which I can I am fine with that. Sterling, can we work this chance? Anaya, with his first real chance of the game, shots blocked away and eventually cleared out to touch. Bath is looking extremely tired, and Naya now is going to be booked, it looks like, which is a little frustrating to have your striker booked just because there's no reason for it 9 times out of 10. Now we've got a free kick. Is Stevens going to be booked? One of their strikers. He is. So yellow cards all over the shop now. 41 minutes gone. We're approaching halftime. It looks like it'll probably go into the break 0-0, which not ideal for the amount of chances we've had, as another Bath player looks to set to be booked right on halftime. Yep, Jordan Simpson. So they have 3 players on yellow cards. Not bad. We're putting them under pressure. And now are they going to even the out? No, it is going into halftime. It looks like it is going to be 0-0. We need to be a little more clinical. We just had the 1 shot on target from 8, so we need to be a little bit better in that respect. But for the most part, everything has gone all right. I might be a little harsher on them just to get them fired up for the second half. They don't need to do a whole lot different. They just need to be a little bit sharper when we get down into that defensive, or Bath's defensive third. Hunt with a long diagonal ball. Good idea. Taylor with a poor touch. He really had a chance to put them under pressure there straight from kickoff. And nothing doing. Anaya is playing poorly, as is Correa, which is disappointing as we approach the hour mark. We haven't done anything. So I'm gonna yank Correa off and Anaya, which is not kind of how I wanted this to go. Obviously, I'd like for them to be impressing, and with the way Correa played in the first match, you'd expect him to carry on a little bit better in this one, as Cope's in space on the right, plays a good diagonal ball. It'll find Hunt across into Anaya, and of course, right as I'm about to sub Anaya off, he finds the back of the net. Good header, second goal of the season, and a good assist in the end by Connor Hunt. Cope got the ball. The original whipped ball in was great, but Anaya couldn't get on the end of it. He did get on the end of the second one, though. Connor Hunt with a great assist. I am still going to carry out the tactical changes, mainly because Anaya's on a yellow and Correa really wasn't playing that well. And Johnson, right after being subbed on, nearly booked. So hopefully that doesn't carry on that way. 65 minutes gone. We're up 1-0. We've had basically all of the proceedings as they make a double substitution, Artis and Antwi on. We haven't created a whole ton in the second half, but we've created, I guess, just enough to get our noses in front. A second would be very, very welcome at this point in time. Taylor out wide for Sterling. That was well worked off the throw-in. Ashton cutting infield. What's Ashton going to do from the edge of the area? He's going to score a goal. And coming off the bench, Owen Ashton has his first goal of the season, assisted by Tyrone Sterling. What a finish in the end by the youngster. Oh, that's great to see, and to make such an impact off the bench. He had space. He ran into it. They invited him on. No one closed him down, and he puts it right in the top corner. Really, really well finished by Owen Ashton. He cartwheels to punctuate it. Well, overall, this is a really, really good performance, and I'm especially impressed by the defensive solidity, as now Jake Taylor's pulled up with a hamstring. That is not my favorite thing that's ever happened. I am going to do... I don't know that this makes sense, but I'm going to bring on Owusu, and I'm going to drop Hunt back into that box-to-box midfielder role for the last 5 minutes just to get Jake Taylor off He is a very important player for us, and I don't want to see him out for any substantial length of time with an injury like that. As now Bath with a chance here. Wow, that went south extremely quickly. Jaden Antwi, the substitute, with his second goal of the season, and it is actually Tyrone Sterling selling Owusu short. Some really bad luck in the build-up to the goal, but overall just not good enough, and he beats Jones in goal and gives them a lifeline in the last 4 minutes. Was there a hint of offside? It's extremely tight, but he looks just level. It is an extremely tight decision, but they are back into it 2-1, and I just was talking about the defensive solidity. It was their first shot on target that they score from, naturally. We've seen this in the past, and now we're hanging on a little bit, but we are holding the ball well here. Hunt in this unfamiliar position. Parkinson does well to collect that, keep that from becoming an issue. Hunt plays a good ball out wide for Cope. Cope back in towards Johnson at the penalty spot. Can't find him, and now Antwi's running into space. There's only about 2 seconds left. Is this going to be a chance for them? It's headed away by Smith. Jarvis, Rig collects. Can we just get it clear? And can you blow the whistle, please, referee? We are beyond the 4 added minutes. And they've played a long ball forward. Jarvis, Antwi onto it. The goal scorer, Cope, does really well to recover the ball. Please boot it long, and Mr. Referee, please blow the whistle. We are now almost to 5 added minutes. I don't know why we're playing so far beyond the added time. He's had plenty of opportunities to blow the whistle, and that will do it. It is all over here at the Aspect Arena. 2-1. Concord Rangers get the win over Bath. It was far less comfortable in the end than what it should have been. You can see here, loads of possession, loads of shots, but not enough shots on target from us. We scored 2 from 3. They scored from the 1 that they had, and up until that 1 goal, they had 2 shots and none on target. So overall, it is a good performance, but they kind of got away with it a little bit. I am still going to tell them that it's a good win, because it is. Bath City is a fairly good team, so I'm happy overall. Looking around the league, we're sitting second, 2 wins from 2. We haven't faced any of these top teams yet, but you can see it's us, Bournemouth, and Dulwich Hamlet. And I mean, if we can be in that top 3, that's really the goal here. Get into the semifinals of. Oh, that's good. So Jake Taylor's pulled up with a hamstring. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. Luckily, we do have some depth in central midfield. You can see Jay Smith making his central defending debut. A little strange that they picked out Sterling from that, but okay. He had an 8.2 and an assist, so whatever. All right, so we've secured a couple more loan moves. Just a couple of depth options. First, we've got in Brian Galak from Crawley. He is a Polish striker. You can see he's actually capped at under 21 level in Poland. Not the best technical player, but, not the worst. He is a good penalty taker, so we can keep that in mind as we head towards the playoffs. But you can see mentally and physically is really where he makes up his deficit. So playing in that pressing forward role, you can kind of see, his finishing's not the best, but he's okay at dribbling. And then all of these other attributes are going to make him a very, very good depth option. So we've brought him in to rotate with Anaya. And he's just a little bit better than Johnson, who we've brought in. And then we've also brought in Ollie Mulders from Southend. So our second Southend player to come in. And he's going to be a depth option in that defensive midfield role, because Parkinson is not going to be able to play every game for us. He's kind of fading physically. And this is a really, really skillful player. So stamina-wise, he's not the best, but you can see 14 first touch. Tackling is good. Technique's pretty good. Decisions and determination, very high. Vision and work rate, very high. And then he's got some pace about him as well. So he's going to be an extremely good depth option. So getting those lone moves in will give us that just little bit of extra oomph to really compete with those teams at the top. All right, so a little bit of a shift just due to some fitness levels and stuff like that for this match against Havant and Waterlooville away from home. Jones in goal, Sterling Clark, Jamie Smith comes in, Justin Jarvis in that. For our new boy, Ollie Mulders comes in defensive midfield. I'm going to look at this. Well, he's not ideal, but he can do the job there. Parkinson makes the bench just due to a little bit of fitness. Correa and Ashton in the center of the park. Hunt and Cope on the wings and Anaya up top. Our new boy, Brian Galak, makes the bench. And obviously, Mulder's straight in for his debut in this match. Looking across their team, they're playing a back five as well, but 2 in midfield, 3 up top. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for H and W. They don't care about the fans. It's okay. But they're back into the team, and Havant get things started with the kickoff. Really good energy from us in that opening highlight, and it ends without any real consequences. It looks like Williams now for Havant, wow, booked 4 minutes into the match, so interesting start to proceedings here. We have a throw on the right through Jarvis. Looked for Anaya. Jarvis played it back infield, and now Williams is actually running through on goal, and what in the hell was that? He scored from 30 yards. He's hit it on the volley. It's his first goal of the season, and I just don't know how we've conceded here. It's a first-time volley. He takes it down and hits it on the half volley. I mean, what a finish. But how in the world was that allowed to happen? That volleyed pass, first-time pass forward, and then to allow a strike like that, like, what? We were absolutely caught napping. Clark blamed for the goal as well. Wow. I'm speechless. That was an incredible goal that just never should have been allowed to happen, as Correa has a strike from outside the box. I do have work the ball into the box on. We just aren't getting our shots on target, which is really frustrating. Sterling with a throw on the left here. Anaya's drifted wide. Correa through the center. Cope in support. Lays it off for Jarvis. Jarvis able to put a cross in here. It's blocked. Cope will collect. Ashton on the edge of the area. Back to Mulders. Ashton again. Him and Mulders playing back and forth. Correa on the edge of the area. He finds Cope in the area, and Hale Brown able to save. He really should have done better from that position. He was in a great spot to score. But we do have a corner. Hunt to take. He's going to in-swing this one towards Anaya, but Hale Brown in goal, able to catch it too near him. And he plays a long ball forward for Tate, who's in space. We were just a little slow getting back. Mulders did really well tracking back and plays a brilliant ball forward to Anaya. We could be in here. You see Anaya in a... Oh, my God. He has just tried to lob the keeper in the worst way possible. Just hit it as hard as you can. Put your laces through it. Cope at the far post. Jake Cope forces it in. Second goal of the season, assisted by Owen Ashton. What a ball. Floated over the top. He made the end product so easy to provide. And we are all over Havant Waterlooville since that opener, the stunning opener from them. Ashton with that floated ball to the far post. It might have been going in, but Cope just made sure that it made it. Is there a hint of offside? Wow, he is just level. It's a very close decision. I'm glad it's gone our way. And with 35 minutes gone, we're back on level terms, although level is nowhere near where we should be. We are absolutely dominating in every aspect of the game. But that early strike from Williams for Havant and Waterloo, but Waterlooville just caught us completely off guard. But we have done really well to respond since then. Yassine Anaya he's got a free kick and a chance to deliver a ball in here. We've held it in through Mulders to Clark to Ashton. Clark finds Hunt. Hunt's running in field into space. Ashton almost dispossessed. Correa's got it on the edge of the area. Ashton shoots from distance, and he never should have been shooting from there. He's never testing anybody from there. It's easily blocked, and now they have a chance on the counter. It looks like things are just going to wind down to maybe we do have a free kick here. Jarvis finds Correa. Back out wide for Jarvis. In towards Anaya, headed away. Correa collects. A little bit of a tangle on the edge of the area. Ashton might have a chance here. Drops it off for Mulders. What's Mulders going to do here? Finds Ashton. Correa's in space. Correa to strike one, and Julian Correa, first goal of the season, assisted by Ashton again. What a strike. And we have the lead that our dominance deserves, finally, right on the stroke of halftime. So the change in system has benefited kind of everybody but Correa there in loads of space. And although his shooting is not the best, he's able to finish really, really well there for his first goal in a Concord Rangers shirt to give us the lead. And that is halftime. Well, we've been all over them since that stunning opener from Brett Williams. But you can see, I mean, we are absolutely playing them off the park. Julian Correa has completed 50 passes in the first half. Yeah, unreal. What a performance so far. But they've done really well. But I want them to stay hungry, because one, our attackers really haven't gotten off the mark. Anaya's had a really good chance that he let go. But I want them to stay motivated and stay hungry to get more, because 2-1 is not where we want to be sitting. As they have a free kick on the edge of the area, the wall has done its job, thankfully. Burley will be first to it, though, for H&W. Miley now plays it out wide for Thomas. We're just a little slow to the ball, but really well done by Connor Hunt. They have a corner. Thomas swings it in. Swain, it's off the line. Sterling did really well to clear it off the line. It's another corner, though. I don't know. We're under a little bit of pressure here on 60 minutes. Probably look to make a change here soon as Jones collects. It's actually Connor Hunt that is going to be the one to come off. He just hasn't been at the races today. Nana Owusu will come on for this last half hour. We'll see how he does. Smith to Cope off the throw-in. Correa, the goal scorer. Mulders just kind of dallying on the ball a little bit. He opts to play it back to Clark. Ashton's got his back to goal and plays a very weak pass out wide for Owusu. That was potentially troubling. Luckily, Correa back onto it. Cope running at the defense. Lays it off for Jarvis. Correa to strike from distance again, and he's feeling himself now from distance. It was a little wide, and probably needs to quit shooting from distance unless he has a very, very good chance like he did for the goal. It is still 2-1, 20 minutes left. And I am going to make one more change. Ollie Mulders has played very well, but he is waning a little bit in his condition. I'm going to bring on Jack Parkinson just to be that calm head in that defensive midfield spot. Another throw here. Sterling to Ashton, back to Sterling. Plays a ball to the far post to Jake Cope, who tries to head it from a bad angle. Should have tried to control it, but we've kept hold of the ball. Jarvis plays a ball across. Owusu almost onto it. Ashton rolls it through for Anaya to strike. Saved by Hale Brown. It is a corner. Anaya, couple of chances in this game. He probably should have done better with them. Anaya to deliver this ball to the far post. Kerr heads away, and the highlight ends. They talked about how fired up and motivated Yassine Anaya was, but I'm tempted to give Brian Galak a run out and just see if he can grab a goal here. Our young strikers, can they give us something in this last 5 minutes, as they have a free kick out on the right. They've opted to go short. Ambrosine through to Kebby. Kebby delivers the ball into Williams. Oh my God. That is a sucker punch. But it's exactly what we were scared of, right? It was 2-1 isn't enough. He should, again, never be allowed to score that goal. He's got 3 players around him. He wins the header somehow. It's not particularly powerful. It's not particularly well placed. And Jones just should have done so much better. Well, it's time to go all out now. We need to find a goal somewhere in these last minutes, because a draw here is just unacceptable for the way that we've played. Ashton, it looks like there will be 10 men for the last couple of minutes for H&W. Really, all this does is waste time, though. So it is a second yellow for Kevon Miley. And we do have a dangerous free kick. Hopefully this will be part of a highlight. Sterling over it. Sterling, and it's deflected and in. Tyrone Sterling with the free kick. Oh, thank God. That was going to kill me if we didn't find the winner. Sterling with the free kick, and yes, it's a deflection, but it's his goal all day long, and we've got a late winner. It is 3-2 Concord Rangers lead, and if we can just hold on, it is beyond the stoppage time. The red card may just kind of help them out here by buying them a little more time here, but we've got Correa through the center. Correa's got an option out wide if he can find it. He lays it off for Cope instead. Cope to Owusu at the far post. Owusu to deliver a ball in towards Galak, but Hale Brown catches, and that should just be winding things down towards the end of the game. Oh, Tyrone Sterling with a stunner to win it for Concord Rangers. What a match. It's a great performance. It never should have come down to a late goal like that. Brett Williams was just so clinical for them. As you can see, 13 shots on target, but we get that vital late goal, and we have gotten the victory over Concord Rangers beat Concord Rangers. Breaking news. No, what a win to get that win over H&W, and we continue what has been a perfect 3 wins from 3. I do hope that you guys are enjoying this so far. Things are looking good for the Beach Boys right now. Ashton did play very, very well. So for those new to Owen Ashton, he is a 19-year-old Irish midfielder. He's got some extremely good stats about him, and he is a backup player for now, but he could easily move into those starting places with a few good performances. So let's look at our schedule. You can see our 3 wins from 3 here at the start of the season. We are going to finish out with Hampton, Richmond, Carshalton, and Dartford. So I think we will probably... We're in an interesting kind of position here. I don't want to show you games against all of the same teams. So I may be back for maybe the beginning of October, maybe this Dorchester, Dulwich area, because you guys have seen seasons at this level before. I don't want to show you the same thing over and over again. So yeah, we'll shoot for the beginning of October to come back for the next episode and see how things are getting on. I'm hoping for a little bit of an FA Cup run so we can make some money, but we know that things can happen in the FA Cup. So we're going to go ahead and, shoot for that October time frame to come back. If you guys are enjoying the series, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so that you can check out all of the Beach Boys series. I'm very excited with how the season has started. What a way to win. And we are bouncing back from disappointment last season quite well. And long may it continue. So until next time, guys, up the Beach Boys.
Well, we fell apart just in time. You say at least it was worth the try.